Welcome to Beautifully Unfiltered, the Purple Runway podcast. The Purple Runway podcast is about breaking the silence, honoring truths, and creating honest conversations that lead healing and advocacy and empowerment. For too long, the stories of domestic violence, especially those rooted in trauma, silence, and survival, have been hidden behind closed doors, and we're here to change that. So welcome to Beautifully Unfiltered, the Purple Runway podcast, and let's walk with purpose together.
Hello, and we're back at Beautifully Unfiltered with Gigi. Okay, guys, so today is going to be different. This is the first of a few part series, and it's been something I wanted to do for a little while, because I love conversations. And I wanted to have conversations with people that I've learned or met within a couple of years or less. And Tiffany is one of those people. You all have met her before. She was here and we had a fantastic time when I interviewed her the last time she was here, because she's just real. And she is who she is all day, every day. And that's why I think I've drawn to her in the past couple of years. And something that, things that we have in common, how we see, how we grow. We don't have to talk to each other every day, but Tiffany knows me to a certain extent. And so during this series that we're going to have, I want you to meet a couple of people that are close to me. And I'm starting off with Tiffany because you've already met her. And I have no idea what she's going to do today because I'm giving the studio over to her. And she's going to ask me questions for this episode. So I have no idea, again, what she's going to ask me. We're just going to have a great conversation. And before I turn it over to Tiffany, the Tiffany with the Grow Network, you all better, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. But anyway, Tiffany, thank you for being here. I'm just rambling because I was trying to delay getting started.
No, never delay. I'm so excited to be here, Gigi, and that you asked me to do this. And what's really interesting is as you were talking and you said, I know Tiffany knows me. And I was like, I do know you, Gigi, but I know the essence of Gigi. Mm-hmm. I was at home. I was visiting Liam the other day. Liam's my son, and he goes back and forth between me and his dad's. Mm-hmm. And I had to drop something off in the morning. And so I went there and I dropped something off and I left. Mm-hmm. And they were still sleeping. And later that day, Sean texted me, which is Liam's dad, and was like, Liam woke up and said, Mom was here. And he was like, how do you know Mom was here? And he's like, I smell her. Oh. And it was this essence of me. Yes. And that's the thing is I know the essence of Gigi. Mm-hmm. I know how you feel being in your presence. I know what it's like to be supported by you and to be in conversation with you and to be allied with you. Mm-hmm. But I don't know a lot about your story. And that is what I'm excited about today is to get to know and pull some of those details that create the essence, the jasmine, the, floral essence or the smoky essence, what it is that makes Gigi. So I'm going to start out with a kind of a core question that I feel like it's a little quirky, but I think it'll pull out a little bit of that essence of where you came from, but also allow us to flow into conversation, if you're okay with that. And so the question that I would like to ask you is, I know that as with most of us, the journey, there was a before Gigi. Yeah. And there's a now Gigi. Mm-hmm. So for the before Gigi and the now Gigi, tell me what a beautiful day in the before Gigi was like versus what a beautiful day or a perfect day for the now Gigi would be like.
That's a great question. The before Gigi, I would say, Tiff, was going to work, doing my job exceedingly, making numbers, being a people pleaser. Mm. And that's what I'm saying, like at work, always doing a great job, always had great performance reviews. But after that, after the day would conclude or after I left one job to go to a next and had to rebuild that, I was always sad. I was sad because I felt like I knew everyone else and I knew what everyone else wanted for me. And it was easier for me to give it to them than for me to step back and find what was going on with me after that.
Right.
I remember working as an operations manager for this elementary charter school.
Okay.
And we were there, opened up the school, did all that administrative work, teachers, everything. And through the course of the time I was there, they would have like these discussions and breakout talks with teachers and students and all of that kind of stuff. And they did this thing that was focused on the indiscrepancies between Blacks and LGBTQ community and all this. And so we would have these little breakout sessions that we had to do for professional development because of what the school stood for. Mm-hmm. And I remember this was like 2011 or so. And so one of the questions had something to do with what bothers you, like when people say, certain things about you. And what does that trigger? It was something to that effect. And I don't remember exactly what the question was, but the point here is that when it got to me, we had been in these classes for 3 days, morning to evening. And when it got to me, they said, what makes you feel a certain kind of way, whatever it was. My answer was that people always say I'm different, and I don't want to be different.
Oh, wow.
And I just started crying during that time because I did not want to be different. I knew how I was different, going through domestic violence, going through childhood trauma, going through, different things. And at that point in time, I never had any therapy. I didn't know myself as much as I would have hoped. I had great family, had great community within the family, but I didn't want to be different.
So you saw different as bad?
As bad.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw different as bad. Mm-hmm. So that was before, And
now your difference is phenomenal. Like, everybody wants to be different like Gigi,
So, and that was embracing that and then just saying, you know what, you need to do work on yourself. Mm-hmm. And you have to go through that silent season, that shadow work in order to get that. And I was pointing the finger at me instead of pointing fingers about what people did to me.
Mm-hmm. So what was the turning point for that? You know what I mean? Like, what was the thing? And it might not be just one thing, but what was the thing that made you look at yourself and say, something needs to change. I have to transition. I have to become something where I have to start looking on the inside.
I wanted to kill myself.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I did. Because I didn't know anything about therapy. I didn't know anything about counseling. They barely want to talk about mental health right now.
Right.
And it's talked about way more. Mm-hmm. But that's where I was. And I remember I was on the phone with my mother, and I was working downtown at that point, DTC. Mm-hmm. And I told her, I said, I'm done with all of this. And she's like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was literally thinking about throwing myself in front of that train I had to catch home.
What brought you to that point? Because from what you were saying, you were successful, mm-hmm. and you had all the outside things that make someone look at you and say, "Oh, yeah, you should be happy."
Yeah.
So why weren't you?
I wasn't, because I wasn't happy with me, but I didn't know that's what it was. Mm-hmm. I had power, mm-hmm. As in the positions that I had, and I may not have treated some people, if they gave me attitude, I was triggered all the time. Mm-hmm. So I didn't like that part of myself, but I was very defensive, I took everything personal. Yeah. Like when you have with anything, when you have a certain position and you have a supervisor or manager and the manager is telling you to do something and you keep pushing back or you keep doing other things, I kind of took that personal.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What were those things that you had to work through? Like, how did you become such a triggered person and not like yourself? Because there are things that happen.
It was the domestic violence.
Got it.
It was the domestic violence and the childhood trauma when I was on a court stand at the age of 10 on my birthday, speaking about things and having to re-explain things that no one should have to explain. No kid should have to explain at 10 years old.
Mm-hmm. And
it wasn't because I didn't have a close-knit family. We still have a close-knit family. My mom and dad's always been there for me. But it was indiscretions by a family friend that violated my innocence, right? And so, you know, that affected me. And then by the time you go to a court case and you hyperventilate on a stand at the 10 years old, they take you to the doctors and then they come back and then they badger you some more, right? And then at the end of it, they said, your story changed too much.
Wow.
And that person got off. And it was in the military. So I was, a dependent of my dad's in the military. So this happened on a military stand, you know? And once that was over, they was like, okay, thank y'all for coming.
So there was no justice for you.
No, it was no justice for me. And so that gets you going down the wrong path. You know, you get in connected with the wrong things because there's no guidance. And you can't always say it's the parents because it was not my parents.
Right.
Right? You don't do things in front of your parents that you do away from your parents. That got me, I was never in a gang. I was affiliated with gangs, very bad gangs.
Is it a trust thing that you had in regards to, because I feel like when you're a kid, you are taught to trust authority, right? That if something happens, that there are rules and stopgaps and things that will seek out and you can have justice, right? Like there are police officers and there's lawyers and judges, and that failed for you.
All of it.
And so that had to have somehow damaged the way that you trust other people and structural, systems in the world. So how did that come out in your behavior as you grew up?
I wouldn't say I was violent, but I didn't take no shit. And it came out as anger.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to get you before you get me.
Yeah.
And even through therapy and going through all I've gone through and all the good stuff, I don't think I need to share who I am with any and everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not a trust thing. It is a embracing who I am at this point, because there are some things that I've gone through that I've literally changed from or grown from or put definitions and language to that does not define me anymore. And then all of those things that I am who I am.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing. I've grown, I'm more patient. Honey, I will tell you to do the dishes before you get me out of my comfort zone, right? But I also have my things that have not grown.
Right.
You know, and I'm okay with.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It's
right?
a journey.
I think we all, there's this
it.
like self-help thing where people think that eventually they'll stop being that person.
Right.
And it's not that you stop being that person. You just learn how to not react as that person.
As that person.
And
you
so
can put language to it.
There's somebody some man back in the day, you know me and my ratchet dating career, had asked me, and I think he thought it was like a really deep question. And he was like, out of things that have gone on in your life and things that have happened in your life, is there anything that you would change? Like, is there any regrets that you have, like things that you've done and stuff like that? Because I have a history, I have a past.
Me too.
You know that.
Me too. I'm just glad it's not on the internet.
Girl, we grew up in that day and age. We got to keep secrets and become legends.
Exactly.
Right? So I said to him, I was like, Yeah, I should never have traded in my Kia because it was a really good car. And he was like, a Kia? Why, that's it? And I was like, yeah, because all of those things and those decisions that I've made, whether they hurt people, hurt myself, whatever, made me into this person that I am today. And I really enjoy that person. Right. So I'm going to ask you that question because I don't think everybody has that mentality about life, which is fine. But are there things about your life and decisions that you made that you feel like you would go back and change and make differently that would result in a different you now, a different Gigi today?
Yeah, I don't think that could happen, either. You can't, I don't know who I would be if those things didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I could say, I wish I was more aware of the people I allowed around me and the things that I've done. But again, I wouldn't be where and who I am now, which I love it. Whether I'm open to something or I'm not open to something, I'm like, nope, I don't want to do it. Nope, I'm not going to be there.
Right.
And the point is that because when I say yes, oh, you getting all of me, honey. You getting all of me. You're going to get all this good because I have opened that space to be in that space and present. But when I don't, it's because either I'm going through something. Like this time right now is the hardest time for me. Like literally, it's the best time, but it's the hardest time for me to shift because I call it my year of integration.
Okay, explain that a little bit.
So some people know me as Gigi, the personal stylist, right? And doing the runway shows and doing editorial shoots and things like that. But then the other people know me for Purple Runway. And because Purple Runway is more of that internal expression than the external, I say this is both of them too. I've worked on each one of these beauties because they were actually growing me in different ways through this journey.
Yeah,
it was growing me externally. Look at Chandel has me sitting here doing a podcast, right? And then, but it also has grown me internally.
Yeah.
So with Purple Runway, as you said, me and you met, that's what you knew of me. And then you learned something else of me. So the year of integration is for me to put all of me together and to be able to share in vulnerable ways or in small groups or in larger groups, ways that we women can overcome. I'm a survivor-led organization. But I'm also your girl, and I'm also someone that really understands that I'm transforming as a woman. I'm getting more refined in my age, honey, in my age, and those things. And there's a transition going on with that. So if I am where I say I am, or I've grown to, or I love to be, now, because that was normal, now I'm shifting again. So am I going to shift and say, oh my God, I can't do this because then I'm going to shift again. So I have to learn like this is right here for me, that integration of everything is coming together, but understanding I'm still shifting.
And it'll always be that way, right? You know the metamorphosis of a butterfly.
Yes.
Have we talked about that before and how it's not just a caterpillar bursting wings out of its back, which I thought it literally
eats itself.
Yeah, it's literally a deconstruction of self into to morph into something different. And that seems to be what you're describing, is that in this transition, there is pain in morphing and going and building yourself into something next, but you have no choice if you want to grow, into that into that space. Yeah. So what do you say is the most difficult part? Because you said one word, which, because I know you, that I feel you might struggle with the most, but I want to ask you, and so that everybody else, what is the most difficult part or the most painful part or the most uncomfortable part about this transition for you?
This.
Exactly. And the vulnerability, right? It's like showing all of yourself in front of people, but that's the beauty.
People I can't see.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
People I can't see.
Why is that part so hard for you?
Because I'm a control freak.
Yeah, I get
in
that.
many, many ways.
Yeah.
I'm a control freak. So I can, if I'm in spaces with you, that's why people say, Gigi, when I'm in spaces with you or whatever, but, other people don't see me that way, right? And it's because doing this, and as I said, Chandel's been working with, now I'm comfortable with this. I'm comfortable with this vein of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But going on Facebook or whatever and be like, girl, whatever. It's those people who I can't see. Why does that bother me?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why does that bother me? It's because the people that you don't see, it could be that they are, they could be judging me in some way.
They probably are.
Yeah. And that's even more vulnerable than this. It's not like we do a lot of cuts or edits or whatever. Chandel makes it flow. But for me, I want to see I want to see you. You know what I mean? I want to see you.
Yeah.
But what I do know, being with you and the Grow Network and understanding Yaya, understanding growing here, understanding where I fit. So when you do judge, I'm a private person.
Yeah.
Right? Very private person. But now what is my formula to give all of those things and integrate that to be able to do this?
Correct.
And you and I, what I showed you, the plan of what I showed you, that's my vein that I've grown into and integrated into to be able to do that on that side.
And you've done a beautiful job doing
Thank
it.
you.
The people that you help and the people that you interact with and who you show people that you are is people need to see that. We just need more of that in the world. But social media has exposed a lot of insecurities within us because number one, when you put it out there, it's out there forever.
It's out there forever.
It's out there forever. And I remember a long time ago when I used to do coaching, and I was just getting into the whole vulnerability thing. And somebody came back at me when because I'm super humble and vulnerable about all of my mess.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, what if somebody uses it against you? And I'm like, well, I've already come to terms with it. So there's not really much that they can use against me because I'm being honest about it.
That's right.
And so whether it comes across as, something insecure that I'm putting out there where it's like, oh.
And you do that so good. Not insecure, but you are just an open book.
Right.
No one could use anything against you.
And they
You're
can
an
read
open
it
book.
and interpret it in any way that either helps them or that they think harms me. But it's a choice, right? And I think once we get to that point, and once you get to that point where you understand that only you can allow people to harm you or judge you or feel some kind of way, then you get your power back, right? And you get that control back. But it's really hard.
Yeah, it is.
But
that's why I'm so glad, as I said, my community is my community right now because it is getting to the point. I mean, y'all don't want me to get to the point where I get like Tiffany, put it that way. No, I don't want me to get to that point.
Yeah.
But anyway, but in a good way. I'm joking though. But that's growing. And I think all of us help each other grow in those ways. And my girls, very patient with me, but I say the same thing. But in many ways, they know that I'm moving in that journey. And they hold me accountable for that. And I love it. And, I'm a hard cookie. I got a hard head.
I've never seen you as that.
Yeah.
I don't perceive you as that way.
Yeah.
But hey, you can if you want.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But I just love people. And another thing that helps me is talking to people and hearing their stories of overcoming.
100%.
And coming through. That's what also helps me a lot. And I love listening and learning people.
So is that the thing in the beginning, right? Because we talk about Purple Runway and how you've become such an advocate for domestic violence and the victims of domestic violence. And is that what you would say got you through that first obstacle of being vulnerable about your own experience is the fact that you get to help other people?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For the first few years of Purple Runway, I put together something. I had a lot of speakers at my event, and I was more so like, what's his name? Russell Simmons. Thank you for coming out. Good night.
That's right. He did used to do that. I forgot about that.
Thank you for coming out. Good night. And that's what happened for many years, from 2015 all the way to 2023, until that's when I took this microphone and I spoke at my own event authentically. But I really, really started growing on February the 2nd of 2020, before the pandemic. And I did this dance, and it was a freestyle dance to Black Butterfly.
Interesting.
And we were just in the studio with my girlfriend who teaches dance, and it was that day where it was just one, and my other girlfriend was there, and she started recording me. And we just flowed in that studio through that dance. And I still have the video too. But that day I knew something had shifted in me. I knew something had shifted in me. And then by 2020, and that's when I started having smaller events, classes. What did I learn as a survivor, and making this a growing survivor-led organization. And then I realized, I said, okay, we have to do the work to be a 501c3. We have to deal with the SEC. We have to register our trademarks. We have to do all of this stuff. We have to create lessons from the journals, from the experiences, from the stories. And that's where Purple Runway is, where we are, what we're doing now. And we're in another transition of integration again, to talk about workforce development and how we can help through the EAP programs within corporate to be able to move the needle forward for people that may need to be silent, need some help and don't know how to use it. So we're moving in that direction and looking to work with some, bigger companies and health agencies and Outlook to be able to give survivors that come see them the resources and some way out. So that's a part of the integration too.
Purple Runway and what you're doing in your specific entrepreneurial journey. I find that, we know a lot of entrepreneurs. Number one, what you have done and where you are going is so big, and it's so important, it's so impactful. But in that, there's a lot of fear, right? Anybody knows. So how do you get over that fear in seeing such a big picture and being just your small self, right? How do you get over that and through it and keep going?
I take a break.
Yeah, we all need a break. She'd be vacationing.
I take a break. I literally, whether it's season's in for the garden, whether it is definitely taking a vacation, or sometimes it's sitting coloring. Sometimes it's just sitting doing nothing, reading a book, or what have you, talking to my girlfriends on the phone. Sometimes it's just listening to nature. Sometimes it's going to see my mom and just hugging my mom and dad. Sometimes, but I know one thing that I do know about myself, I will never not give myself the time, the space, the place, that part, because when everything breaks or everything doesn't come through or something happens,
which is inevitable.
That I still have me, and I have me even more, and I've already balanced me out, and I've already balanced me out for other people, and I can say I gave it a good old try, and it worked, or I gave it a good old try, and other people are taking over it, or I gave it, whatever that is. I learned that I didn't like me for so long, that because the things that I had gone through, and I kept wanting to know why it happened to me. And then taking my ownership back, I'm never giving that up again under any circumstances.
I love that, because I think in the entrepreneurial journey, or just in life, we do, next thing, give, that we think that it's selfish to give to ourselves.
Right.
And we think that it's not, it's egotistical, or it's, just looking at us first, when really it's not. Because if my cup is not full, I can't pour into others.
And it's easy. That's exactly what it is, And when I give it, I'm going to give it all I got, believe me. But if I wake up tomorrow and I'm like, you know what I got to do? Okay. Timothy, I can't make it today. It doesn't happen too often. But I can't. Can we do it on a Zoom? I can't make it today.
Right.
And I'm still going to give Timothy or Jesse or Sandra what she needs, but I might not be able to be there in the flesh. And I'm okay with that.
Is there a part in your journey, right? And it doesn't just have to be with the entrepreneur journey.
Right.
Is there a moment or an incident in your journey where you really were at the breaking point and thought to yourself, I'm just going to quit? This is not what I want to do.
A lot of times.
You said a whole lot of times.
Yes.
Yeah. What kept you going?
You know, I don't know if this, I guess it's called a meme, where it goes around Instagram. Mm-hmm. And then they're standing out, the girls in her apartment. She's like, God, I'm tired of this shit. and he was like, he says, you are my strongest soldier. I want to be your strongest soldier. Why me, God? Why you always do this to me?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I have had those moments many a time.
I'm just done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just done. Mm-hmm. And girl, that's happened at least once a year.
Girl.
At least once a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Those, who was it? There's a sign in the entrepreneur journey.
At that level, anyway.
When you start to, you start looking at Indeed. I'm gonna go back to work. I'm gonna have to go back to
what they need. Right. I invented this shit.
And then then it's like
I'm a tireless worker, dedicated.
Because you know what you would give. You know what you would give to the job, but then you start to realize, you start to remember what it was like in that space, and you're like, I'll have a nervous breakdown. I'm gonna go eat and take a nap, and we're gonna get started
and
get started
put my
again
big girl
tomorrow.
Drawers on, and I'm gonna wake up after that and get about my life.
Yes, but that is the entrepreneurial spirit, right?
Exactly.
And it's just that keep going. And I love that the community that I have attracted are full of women like you, because I admire.
Truly, you have. Yes, you have.
I admire you. I admire the strength and the dedication and the ambition and the honesty and the ability to just be your authentic self. And there is an asterisk on that, because they have kidnapped authenticity and made it into some shit that it really isn't.
Speak on it. Speak on that, Tiffany.
You are your authentic self in through and through of what you give to people every day. And it's even in those moments when you ain't got shit left to give.
Right.
You're like, I ain't got nothing to give. I'll holler at you in a week.
Right.
And I love that. And it is just the attraction that you have in that makes me keep coming and showing up for you over and over and over again. So I very much appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
So we're going to circle back to, because this is just perfect. This has flowed so well. That the first question that I asked you is, what was a day in the life of before Gigi? What was a perfect day of a before Gigi? And we didn't get to, and so we're going to end with, what is the perfect day to the now Gigi?
To the now Gigi. Oh my God, the perfect day to the now Gigi is being able to talk to the clients that I have right now, and then to see their journey for whether it's helping them build their personal presence, whether it's seeing it's still people, it's for people it's people for me, right? And so we're seeing our survivors when her business is growing, honey, literally growing from March the 5th on. So being able to talk to them and to keep up with them, to come up with another development, to find a new partner, that's during the day. But during the day, it's also me being able to, turn my music up and put my gangster music on and flow that way. It's going to the gym, which I do need to go to a little bit more, but going to the gym, it is watching TV, it's going to the garden, it's all of those things. Talking to my girls on the phone, which we don't talk a lot, but when I do, it's a 2-3 hour conversation. You know what I mean? Gigi, after the fact, is pouring into Gigi more often than people are aware. Because I have taught myself and invested in that and my family enough, but I come first, because when I didn't come first, my family was not whole.
It sounds like you found peace.
I found peace.
So if you had any advice that to give to other people, and it doesn't matter who or where or how they're living their life, but the one piece of advice that you feel would really, people would find value in if they started here, what piece of advice would that be?
I think the one piece is do something for you intentionally every single day. Whether that's lighting a candle that for 30 days, and you do not stop lighting that candle for 30 days. Or you do something and you dedicate that to yourself. Whether you say, I'm going to dedicate taking a bath twice a week so I can slow down, put some Epsom salt in there, light some candles, whatever. Because what we don't do is we think that we have to do all of these things in order to self-care, self-love, my nails, my hair, all of that. Take one thing, because a lot of people in the same mouth and out of the same breath say, I don't have time to do all of this, right? I don't have time for self-care. I don't have time to go to the doctors. I don't have time. Okay, you know what? Light that candle every single day. You did it, Tiffany. You did it. Was it 30 days?
Of going
live.
Yeah.
When you didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I didn't.
So do one thing.
Yeah.
And when you do one thing for yourself, you're going to add another thing and another thing. Don't try to, win the horse race and you on a pony. You know what I mean? So do the one thing, but learn to do more of those things. And it's not that hard to dedicate time to yourself, because if you work your work around that, your calendar around that, your schedule around it, or your stretching, whether it's getting up earlier, okay? Then if you're not important to you, who's going to hold you in more importance?
Correct. And it's that compound interest.
Right.
Yeah. Something I just started doing.
Yeah.
And I forgot how much I loved it, which is weird, is I have a physical book.
Yes.
And at night, before I go to bed, instead of scrolling, I read a chapter in the book.
Yes.
And I'm like, God, I forgot how much I really enjoyed reading.
Yes.
Because I listen to them. And I don't have time to read anymore. Yeah, you do.
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
So I know those things in particular help with self-confidence, showing up for yourself. So I think it is a very beautiful piece of advice that many people need to take. I very much enjoy, as always, enjoy having a conversation with you.
Here.
Anytime. It is an honor to be in your presence and to be able to get to know more about you, because it brings me closer to you. And who doesn't want to be closer to the most fabulous Gigi?
And Tiffany, don't play. That's giving up my space. I was like, nope, everything's open, Tiff. You can ask me anything. I don't want to know nothing. We're just going to do this, because this is the type of community that I'm sure many people want to be in. And I'm not saying this as a salesperson or anything like that. I'm saying this as this is my girl.
Yeah.
And you hear people say, no new friends, no new friends. She says that.
I say no new friends,
Yeah. And so with me, when I met Tiffany and a few other people that you're going to meet now, and we're almost having this a year. This podcast it'll be a year in June. If I stuck to that no new friends, I wouldn't know this woman right here.
And you wouldn't be here because you met Chandel and Rob.
No, I met Rob, the Grow Network.
At Grow Network.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So it comes full circle. And when you go someplace, it's not about how much. I love the fact it's not about how much I can make it rain with my business cards, right? It is about seeing those people 3 times at the same place, and it always feels good.
Yeah.
And then you want to have that one-on-one with them. You want to get to know them. You want to be able to go to karaoke when we go to karaoke after, a night of intentional networking. So I know right now it's hard and people are trying to find their time and space. It is important to get with community. It is so important to get with community. And even though it's hard or gas prices are up or whatever, it is important to get with community. Because trouble don't last always, right? No matter what this look like for any and everybody, trouble doesn't last always. But in order to survive it, get with community. So I want to thank Tiffany today. I want to thank my boo, thank Chandel, and always being here and supporting me here at Blue Stallion. And this was good.
I love your face, girl.
Thank you.
You're one of my favorite human beings.
So the last thing I'm going to say is, you guys know every end of each episode, I ask a particular question. What is your signature song? And what I want you guys to walk away from this episode with me and Tiffany. So mine is, because I've never done my own signature question it's by China Styles. It's called Love Me Loud. And it's Love Me Loud. And it is a new artist. I think it isn't even an AI artist. But I've played it on little clips before on my social media, but I love me. I'm heavy on the me, right?
I love that.
I love me. And so I want you all to go listen to that and understand, light your candle, color in your coloring book, do whatever it is, and listen to that song and love you loud and come join community. Until then, we'll see you the next time. Bye.
This podcast is an extension of Purple Runway, where we honor survivors, celebrate their courage, and amplify the voices that are often go unheard. Whether you're a survivor, a supporter, an advocate, or someone still finding their way, you're not alone, and this space is for you.